Hold on, there's enough room here. How about you come up here? Yeah. Oh, no, come on. What's your name? Summer. How about our ASL interpreter? Yeah? Okay, so I'm very curious how you're going to sign up to these, so I wanted to see it firsthand. As a young college student, no longer under the constant care of my parents, I reveled in my ability to do the things I wanted. Bedtimes, diets, and study habits were all to my discretion, the only limits being the lack of steady income. I've always loved travel, and no longer needing my parents say so. My spirit of adventure came alive when my buddy Josh invited me to watch NHL hockey games around the country. Our wanderlust didn't match our travel budget. We became experts at public transportation, splitting gas money, staying at cheap hostels, using frequent flyer miles, and crashing on airport benches. But we stumbled upon the holy grail of cheap bachelor travel when we discovered couchsurfing.com. What's the sign for that? What's couchsurfing? Got it, okay. The concept was simple. You sign up to let strangers sleep for free on your couch, and in return, you were allowed to sleep for free on strangers' couches elsewhere. This was pre-Airbnb, and although the concept may sound a little strange today, in 2010 it was akin to inviting Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, you just spell it? Okay. Hannibal Lecter? And your mother-in-law. I like that one. Over for dinner. Nothing may happen, but why in the world would you not just pay the $50 a night to be assured you weren't murdered, eaten, or criticized the entire time? The idea was for no money to change hands, and couchsurfing.com was to be self-policing. You were looking for a couch. That's all. And your host is the type who will sleep on the couch with strangers. I haven't heard of any gruesome murders connected to couchsurfing.com, but I was nervous about possible vulnerabilities. Josh had signed into the couchsurfing a few months earlier, and his couch had accommodated a steady stream of drifters and hitchhikers across central Nebraska. He accepted only requests from profiles with flawless reviews and never revealed his home address. Instead, he would pick up his guests at the Conestoga Mall parking lot. There may have been some awkward moments, but never any real danger, and as a result, Josh's own couchsurfing.com street cred was fairly substantial. But since my name was lacking from the couchsurfing.com database, it was difficult to find trusting host couches for our hockey trips. As a result, when we arrived in Raleigh, North Carolina with no place to stay, Josh was scolded for bringing a friend and creating a security concern. That night, we dipped into our meager financial reserves for a hotel room. But in Atlanta, we found a host with no problem accepting my shaky credentials. After my first experience with Atlanta's public bus system, we were deposited into a dark neighborhood illuminated by a single orange glaring street lamp. We had an address in hand, which Josh felt was a little strange. This wasn't the way he handled things when he hosted couchsurfers. We followed our smartphone's directions and located a dimly lit, worn-out house. Josh gave me the basic overview of how a typical such interaction works. There is a greeting, followed by some general conversations about who you are and what you're up to, and any philosophical ramblings that seem appropriate for the audience. Then the host leaves you for the rest of the night with the general understanding that you'll fall asleep on the couch. That's it. Nothing crazy is supposed to happen. Shouldn't happen. Hopefully isn't going to happen. We knocked on the door and it slowly opened. Our host met us, gave us the lay of the land, and alluded to his minimalist sensibilities. He spoke slowly and deliberately, carefully calculating each word. He said he had a roommate who was gone. He never hosted before, but had used the service extensively in his own travels. He was excited to host. Said he'd always wanted to host. He didn't seem to know a lot about the house, which he blamed on the absent roommate. And all the furnishings seemed foreign to him. He said they were owned by the roommate who wasn't there. The roommate whose presence was as empty as my couchsurfing.com profile. The wooden floorboards creaked with each step as we were escorted to where we would be spending the night, and our host asked him if we needed anything. Josh said he was fine, and I asked for a blanket. He was happy to oblige, so he fetched a folded, worn-out comforter and put it at the foot of my couch. Bidding us good night, he said if we needed anything, his bedroom is just upstairs, so we slowly retreated. He said he wouldn't be far by. He was close by. I unfolded the blanket, lay down and covered up, drawing the hem under my chin. Surely the comforter's kind of dingy, I thought to myself, but it'll keep me warm. But after fluffing the blanket while getting settled, I became aware of a faint, unpleasant smell of decay or mildew or something. But worse, a stronger smell was beginning to waft up, but that was becoming an actual stink. Josh, do you smell that? What? I fluffed the blanket again. A fresh puff of tainted air toward it. You smell that? What? No. Over the next few puffs, blown his way, he repeatedly denied the stench's existence. Something smells like dog shit. Like actual poop from a dog. Do you smell that? But Josh remained adamant in his denial. Now, I'm not an overly pretentious man, and encountering pet feces, dog or cat or any other mammal, usually wouldn't bother me, but damn it, it's a different story when you're trying to fall asleep on the couch of a complete stranger. I tried to force the shit smell out of my mouth. Out of my mind. Just want to make her sign that. I wouldn't be able to fall asleep if I dwelled too long on where it came from, or where it came from, or who it came from. I gave up trying to solve the mystery. Something told me I need my energy. I tried to go to sleep. A few hours later, Josh and I woke up around the same time. We began talking through our day's plan. Josh left the room, and I began collecting my things and making my bed. I decided to refold the lone blanket as neatly as I found it. I didn't want to upset it. Then the odor mystery was solved. As I was shaking the blanket, a poop nugget indelicately fell out, bouncing down my front and landing square on my bare foot. Let's do that part again. Dog shit from the blanket I had slept in fell on my bare foot. I panicked and danced around, shaking the blanket in search for more turds. Thankfully, that was the only one I could find. As I was collecting my wits, I heard our host coming downstairs. This was going to be a bit awkward. My first thoughts were to confront him, but something told me that wouldn't do much good. I mean, how would that conversation have gone? Dude, there's dog shit in the blanket again. Yeah, I know. I just wanted to get out of there and keep this man at a distance. So, I decided Josh could be sacrificed. He was standing in the kitchen waiting for his oatmeal to absorb the appropriate amount of moisture, and I knew his extreme extroversion would mandate that he make small talk with our host. So once the morning greetings commenced, I leapt into action. First, I needed to dispose of the evidence, which I grabbed in a paper towel and threw in the trash, smearing it on the carpet in the process. Yes, it was still moist. Next, I washed my turd-tainted bare foot in the bathroom sink while my whole body was shaking as if a centipede was crawling down my spine. I took a moment while locked in the bathroom to compose myself, put on a brave face, unlocked the door, walked into the kitchen, and greeted everyone. By then I was cool as a cucumber, or some other vegetable that wasn't covered in shit. Our host offered us a ride to the airport, oblivious to this man's, and Josh accepted, since he was oblivious to this man's propensity to put fecal matter in the things that we shared. So we accepted. On the ride, Josh and I made small talk, or no talk, I don't really remember, because the entire time in the back seat, all I kept thinking was, he has no idea that I slept in dog shit last night. And as soon as we were safely standing on the curb of the airport with luggage in tow and our driver back in the interstate, that's exactly what I told him. Dude, there was poop in my blanket. I had to say this a couple more times before he actually understood. That smell last night? Yeah, that was dog shit. Actual dog shit. Like shit from a dog. And I slept in it. I walked him through my morning adventure. We took a moment to pause and fully appreciate what had transpired. We got on our flight. I repeated this story to everyone except my parents, even though now they're here. It became my go-to, my icebreaker, my attention grabber, my keep in my back pocket tale. But even after all these retellings, one day, something about the events of that morning struck me and shook me to the core. The entire time we were in Atlanta, I never once saw a dog or any other signs of a dog. Come on, everyone!